Everybody and welcome back to F1 22 Manager, and we are at the Brazilian Grand Prix, the penultimate Grand Prix. That doesn't make sense. It's the third last Grand Prix. Brazil, is it the third last? No, it's the penultimate. It is the penultimate Grand Prix. What am I playing at? There's only two left, isn't there? It's literally Brazil and then Abu Dhabi. It is, yeah. Last two Grand Prix of the season. Bloody hell. Here we are already. At this point, right, qualifying. They think we can get two drivers. They want us to get two drivers above 15th. Probably not going to happen. We'll say we'll do it with one driver. The finish position, yeah, we're going to get someone above 15th. And we're not qualifying. I mean, we could put the qualifying one back on and hope that Seb does it. I mean, Seb probably would have got it in the last race if I hadn't have been a moron and let him out too late. So, yeah, for now... There we go. We're actually going to give Drugovich a chance in practice one as well, in car number 2, to see how he does. Give him a bit of experience because we're getting to the end point. Yeah, it's sort of like, what do we do here? Although Vesti has got and that's the thing, Vesti is developing very, very quickly. And I think, yeah, I think we're going to offer Vesti the seat. We're not going to put Drugovich in P1. We're going to offer Vesti the seat to be the reserve driver again. And if he says no, then we're going to renew Filip Drugovich's contract as reserve driver and keep him in. And it's up to Vesti if he wants that choice or not. He's not going to be our second driver unless it all goes tits up and we can't agree to get someone else in. But that's enough of that. Let's head into the Brazilian Grand Prix. I'll do practice. We'll be back for qualifying as usual. So into qualifying we go then, and very interesting because we have a wet race coming up. It's going to be heavy rain during the race, so this is going to be carnage, I think, with someone like Vesti on the track. But anyway, let's get Vesti out right behind that Williams, sees what happens. A lot of people going out, so we'll send both drivers right now and see what happens. But yeah, Vesti's got a 5 grid penalty because he caused a collision, so good on him. He didn't damage any parts, but he did only do 2 practice sessions, Vesti, because, how's that time at the moment? So quicker than Latifi. We put Drugovich in for practice 1 because it's his home Grand Prix. Drugovich is Brazilian, this is in Brazil, so I thought it would be good for the fans, a little bit of nostalgia kicking in for me there. And interestingly, in FP1, I matched whatever tyres Vettel was on, I put Drugovich on the same ones, and he was always 2 tenths, so 0.2 of a second behind Sebastian Vettel. Now, Vesti is generally always 0.3 of a second behind Sebastian Vettel. So I found that very, very interesting that Drugovich, although lower rated overall, seems to be generally consistently quicker than Vesti, which is quite an interesting thing, to be honest. Because Vesti's so bad and he's probably not going to get through, I think we'll get Seb ready for the next run. But I think I am actually going to send... I'm going to send Vesti out in a sec because it's pretty empty and he's got plenty of time. So let's just see what Schumacher... So Schumacher's coming in. So we're going to send Vesti out and he will hopefully have a completely free track. And this... Okay, yeah, he's going to have a free track. So this should be his best time he could possibly set right now. No traffic whatsoever. And he sets 3 tenths. He's still 3 tenths behind Sebastian Vettel with absolutely no traffic. Vesti, you are not a quick driver. Not a quick driver. Let me know down below. What do we do? Do we stick with Vesti and put him in and offer him the 3rd seat back, the reserve seat? Or do we stick with Drugovich and try and get him through? Because it's a bit of a mix, this one. It's a bit of a mix. So 108 is a good time. We're doing roughly 109s, 110s. Vesti's setting quicker times than other people at the moment, but... Not everyone's set a time. Perez is out there. Magnussen's normally pretty quick. Norris is there as well, one of our rivals. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this works. I'm going to assume everyone's going to come back in, and then we're going to have a little bit of a melee as per usual as people come out. I'm going to assume Magnussen isn't going to leave himself not enough time to change his tyres. He does come in. So times 8 speed. Just there we go. So people are starting to go right. Don't be afraid, Dave, to just go in front of the Hasses. We've learnt that. In fact, we're going to get Vettel to set an earlier time. We're going to make sure Vettel gets through. And then we're going to send Vesti there. Right, both drivers have definitely got enough time and space to get through. I haven't messed it up this time. Okay. Right, we'll get on board with Sebastian Vettel for this one. So, here he comes. Let's go for this view. We'll get this on both drivers to make sure they're setting green sector times as Sebastian Vettel is coming through the first corner, turn 1, where Carlos Sainz crashed in FP2 and totally wrote off his session and probably caused quite a lot of damage to his car. But yes, Carlos Sainz not having the best FP2, Vesti not having the best FP3. So yeah, all a little bit interesting, to be honest, what happened in the practice sessions. But generally, I was impressed with Drugovich when he was on there. But we're focusing now on qualifying. Sebastian Vettel sets a yellow Sector 1. Not good. Yellow Sector 1 for Vesti as well. Although Vettel's in a pretty decent spot. He has got 0.2 of a second ahead of a lot of drivers who need to improve. So hopefully Vettel can do well. Ocon does improve. Ricciardo improves, but nowhere near enough to match Vettel, which is good to see. Sebastian Vettel's going to come up the hill round the left now, or you go slightly down and then up this bit of hill. And then you turn left onto the start, finish straight, and that is pretty much the lap done as you do this big left-hander up the hill. Albon improves, but isn't better than Vettel or Vesti. It's a green second sector for Seb. It's a yellow sector there for... let's see Seb across the line. He's currently... Is he going to improve? Seb does improve ever so slightly. It's not amazing from Seb. Let's check in with Vesti, who's going to be crossing the line. And Vesti... He doesn't improve at all. It's a terrible lap. But Vettel is through. There's 5 people below him. Excellent stuff. Sebastian Vettel is through to Q2. We're back to normality. Vesti's going to be starting back of the grid, I'm going to assume, because I don't think many other people have grid penalties in this one. So starting qualifies 18th, which really isn't good. Well, I say that. There's loads of people that got grid penalties, including Albon and Latifi, so Vesti may well be starting where he is, if not higher. So Vettel into Q2. So let's jump into Q2 then. I think we're going to start on a U set, because that sort of makes sense. I'm just... well, we have got one locked for the race. Okay, that's unless we get through to Q3 and then it becomes unlocked. But I highly doubt that's going to happen. Right, come on then, Seb. Show us what you got. Show us what you got in Q2. Just a good effort. That's all we really want. Is there any rain coming in this session? No, there is not. So we can just go as is. I'm not going to go... Yeah, we're on a U set, aren't we? We're on a U set. Yeah, let's put Seb out. I don't mind doing a couple of runs on a U set as well, just to get...
Yeah, loud and clear.
Just to see how it goes. So, Seb starting his quick lap. A few more people come out. We're going to hit Zhou in traffic, which is really awkward, especially in the technical section. And Vettel sets a 110, which is awful. Yeah, which is really, really bad. So, we're going to send Seb out again on another U set. Someone's locked up, so that's not too bad for us if someone's locking up. So, we're just going to try and see what's happening here. Is Ocon in? Ocon is in. So let's send out Seb now and see what happens here. As long as those people aren't on their cooldown lap, we're okay. And they're not. Everyone's setting a good time. Vettel improves on his time. Lovely stuff. That is a better banker lap. As you can see, ahead of Zhou, ahead of Gasly. Now we put the fresh softs on. And we're going to have that one lap on fresh softs right at the end of Q2. We're not too far away. It only needs a little bit more from Sebastian to get this done, and we could... Well, I don't think we're going to make Q3, but if we can get 11th or 12th, I'll be very, very happy as a starting point in this Grand Prix. So just waiting for everyone to start their fast laps here, and here we go. We have our first exits, which are Verstappen, Perez, Norris goes, the Alpines go. We're going to go after the Alpines like that. We get just in front of Gasly. And we've got a bit of fresh air to Alonso as well, which is very, very good. So Seb coming round. He's about to start his fast lap. So let's jump on in the normal view and see how Sebastian Vettel does here. We're looking for green sectors all across the board to give us a chance of catching Schumacher, who is currently in 11th, or Norris, who's currently in 10th. Ideally, we want Norris. But it is a big push. I think just getting an Aston Martin into Q2 at the moment is an achievement. But it is a green first sector for Seb, which is awesome, which is really, really good. It's such a short lap here at Interlagos. As come on, Seb, if you can just set all green sectors, that's all we need, just to show that you've been improving as the track's getting a little bit more rubber laid down. That's all we need. A very technical sector here, coming through the obviously tight right and left handers. Come on, Seb, what are you going to set in a sector 2? Greens, all greens will be good. Norris improves, but not by a huge amount. Seb sets another green sector, which is awesome. I think Schumacher is behind us. I think Schumacher's the last person on track. Ocon sets a quick time. He jumps up quite a lot Sebastian Vettel. Can he set another really good time? He is 1:3.92 off pole at the moment. He is 1:3.24, so he improves. It's not massive. He doesn't beat Norris, doesn't beat Schumacher. And whoever that AlphaTauri, is that Gasly? Fucking hell, he must have been absolutely rapid. We're starting 15th on the grid. Awesome, unless there's lots of grid penalties that we haven't factored in yet. But yeah, not bad. Q2, 15th, you take it, right? You take it, getting up into Q2. I'm hoping lots of these people drop down. Let's go and have a look and see where we start. Yes, so heavy race day, a heavy rain race day. In terms of qualifying then, Ocon got 10th, Guan Yu Zhou in 9th, Fernando Alonso 8th, Gasly 7th, Bottas 6th, Charles Leclerc 5th, Sainz 4th, Perez 3rd, Hamilton 2nd, and Verstappen takes pole. Finish position then. Position gain. It's just Vesti that lets us down. So Seb is predicted to finish 14th. Ooh. They think he's going to... Yeah, okay. Yeah, why not? We've got quite a lot of money. If we don't make it, it doesn't really matter. And then finish position is in. They want us to get the fastest lap, but we're definitely not going to do. Qualifying streak is good. That's in. So we've just got to get it in Abu Dhabi as well. Right, heavy rain is predicting, but they're staying. Start on the softs. What is this rain? So the rain isn't coming until much later on. So I don't want to pit. I want to go all the way until that pit stop when the rain starts. Around about here. Go straight onto the wets and stay on the wets until here and then come off. Right. So I think we edit this strategy. We get rid of you and go onto the hards. And then we take those hards. Unless we can do that on the mediums. No chance. I didn't think there would be. So onto the hards. We'll push as much as we can. If our weather station is pretty good, we have upgraded it. So in theory, this is what our strategy is sort of going to be. If we can extend those hards just a little bit more, that's what we're going with Seb. We are going strategy B, hards to wet, because I think everyone else is going to be doing a sort of stop here, sort of like this. They're going to stop somewhere around here and then stop again to go onto the wets. And I think we're going to match each driver. I think we're just going to go onto the hards here. Drag that out as much as we can by running a bit of pace. And then onto the wets. And then manage it at the end when the weather starts drying up. Okay, so that's lap 34. What did we say for Seb? When's he coming in? So we've said Seb 33. Yeah, I think we'll stick with Seb. It might be a little bit too early for the rain, but I like that idea of how we're going. Fuel-wise, we were saving quite a lot in practice sessions, so I'm not going to add any more in. I think we're just going to leave it as it is. Both starting on the hard tyre, which is an interesting strategy. I'm sure no one else will be doing that. But driver options, push, 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 and deploy. And again, push, 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 and deploy. With the rain coming, it's going to be very interesting. Let's dive into the Sao Paulo Grand Prix in Brazil. Here we go then, the Brazil Grand Prix starting on an uphill, a double Red Bull podium, a double Red Bull front row. Vettel starts in 9th, which is awesome. Vesti up to 15th. And you can see tyres, yes, everyone doing medium softs. We're the only people on the hards. And that is going to make this a very, very interesting race as Vettel is fighting in between the Mercedes at the moment. And it's a good start from our German driver. He's doing well. How's our Danish driver doing at the back? He's lost the place to Charles Leclerc. I mean, I'm not too upset with that, to be honest. But Sebastian Vettel is keeping hold of his place in 9th, which is absolutely awesome. It's always a bit of carnage in these first few laps, and we're getting through without incident so far. And yeah, not too bad. I didn't quite figure out how much battery you need, but as you can see, back up to 100% as soon as you brake in this sort of technical area. But that is, you're braking harder because there's cars around you as well, so you're recharging the battery harder. But at the moment, yeah, we're not in a bad place here. Everyone's on quicker tyres. We just need to make sure that we manage these. So I think after the first couple of laps, we'll just drop it down to aggressive, and we know that's the strategy we need to get to the pit window around the rain. So let's just have a quick check to see. So 35 here, so 34 the rain starting. Okay, I think we're in a good position here. I think we're in a good position. I'm not too upset with that. As Vettel has overtaken Russell, we missed that one. Apologies. We watch it back. As Vesti overtakes Leclerc, Vesti can put overtaking a Ferrari as a feather in his cap. As yeah, they're all in a line, and Vesti's just like, oh, I'll nip down the inside of you there, Charles. Thank you very much. I don't mind if I do. We're going to stay on this pace until DRS opens, and then we'll drop the tyres down to aggressive, as we know we should. We'll probably manage the ERS a little bit better. But at the moment, yeah, Vettel up in 8th. Vesti doing well in 14th, apparently battling a Ferrari really well, which is good to see, as Norris is now on Vesti's tail. But yeah, we're doing all right, according to we're running the harder tyres. Not a bad position at all. So as DRS opens, Vettel has got round Zhou and is up into 7th. Vesti has climbed to 13th by getting Tsunoda as well. So both drivers doing really well. We've dropped the tyres down to where we need them to be. DRS is open, managing the ERS. At the moment, we're in a very good position as we're still focusing on Sebastian Vettel here, fighting with Schumacher up in 6th. And so far, tyre wear isn't really changing for people unless you're on the softs. I'm sure it will kick in at some point. But that looked like Schumacher ran really wide there in Sector 2. It was, and that's what it's going to tell us here. And that is going to cause issues for getting us past him at the moment. Yeah, Schumacher runs wide on turn 6. Didn't lose too much pace out of it. Managed to get it on the track pretty quickly. But it does mean there's over a second now to Albon, who finds himself up in 5th. That's not Albon, that's Alonso. That's why I was confused. Albon and Latifi are right bottom, as you would imagine, in the Williams. But yeah, so far, so good from all our drivers. We can use the DRS to pull us along a little bit, especially as we're coming down the start-finish straight, of which our DRS flap will now open. And we will easily overtake Schumacher there, whose, I'm assuming, tyres may have gone a little bit where he ran wide. But well done, Seb. Good position done. Up to 6th for Sebastian Vettel. Lovely stuff. Checking in with the Danishman Vesti. Still holding off Leclerc. Still on the back of Magnussen. Doing a good job. Doing a good job. So on to lap 6, and a huge battle happening here. Schumacher's just overtaken Vettel. I don't need to show that one. It's a pretty simple move. But yeah, like Zhou locked up and has dropped down the order to now at the back, where it was so congested he couldn't find space to get back on the track. And everything's going pretty well. Vesti is still doing really well in 12th. Vettel's doing really well in 7th, and him and Schumacher are fighting a little bit. Sector 2, there is a lock-up in Sector 1 and Sector 2, I think that was. Yellow flag in Sector 1. What's happening here? We've had a crash. Is it Vesti? There's been a crash. It's not. It's Yuki Tsunoda, one of the people whose names keeps cropping up in videos about a potential driver to try and bring in. Is Yuki Tsunoda. Huge lock-up into the tyre wall. Is that going to be a safety car? He's probably in a good enough position that he can wait and then come back on track, which he's done. So no need for the safety car there, as Vettel is still battling here with Schumacher. I think eventually we're just going to have to ask him to push and try and get away. Now, is there a difference in tyre wear now? A little bit of difference in the tyre wear we're starting to see. So, okay, Vettel and Schumacher are in this DRS battle, which no one's really winning at the moment. I think, again, we might manage it and let Schumacher have that lead and just sit in this train and then deploy the battery and try and get away. But at the moment, I'm happy. I'm happy with how we're sitting. There's been another incident on track, as we did sort of manage the ERS, charge it up a little bit, and then let Russell through as well. But Leclerc has crashed on turn 1, so that's an interesting little thing. Vesti's always around, isn't it? Vesti is always around when crashes happen, but Leclerc can't get the brakes to work into the barrier. Again, I think that might be one where he might be able to put that in reverse and carry on driving. Where is he? Charles Leclerc, right at the bottom. Yeah, he's got that back on track. So no safety car just yet. But at the moment, Vettel doing reasonably well in 8th. As I said, we charged the battery a bit. I think we're probably going to deploy in a bit and see if we can overtake Russell naturally and still be in DRS of Schumacher. Then we can deploy a bit later on with that. So not bad at the moment. How is the rain looking? Is it coming forward? No, it's still predicted to be in a similar sort of position. It's going to be an absolute monsoon, and then it's just going to ease up a little bit. So yeah, it's a tactical battle this when rain's involved. Can Vettel get back-to-back podiums? It would be absolutely mental if he does, but the weather's going to play an effect, and it gives us a bloody good chance. Let's be honest. Okay, so what I'm doing with both drivers, I'm actually probably going to do this with Vesti because he's in a bit of a DRS train there. We're going to get him to harvest. We're easing off the fuel a little bit. The tyres I'm not too fussed about. I think with tyres we're in a good position where we are in terms of managing them. But if we can get all of our battery to be really high by the time everyone has to come into pit off these tyres, then I think we can push really hard on fuel and tyres there and be in a good position. Vesti, again, don't mind if he loses out a couple of positions. I think the fact we're on the harder tyre is going to do us well. But at the moment, both drivers just getting pulled along by DRS trains. So we're in a decent position. Okay, so the tyre wear is starting to make a difference now. The mediums and the softs are both going down. As Schumacher has spun on turn 8. So that's interesting because that's just in front of one of our drivers again, and it's done a really good job there from Seb not to go into the back of Schumacher in that one. It will obviously affect the DRS that he was going to get because it's probably put 2 seconds now between him and Russell, but we've managed it really well that I don't actually mind where we are at the moment. Vesti can go back to harvest because he's in a good position to get on the back of that as Ricciardo comes into pit. So the first people are now coming into pit. It's when the medium tyres, when these medium runners come into pit, that's when we need to push really, really hard. As you can see, the people on the softs are now coming in. So the strategy appears to be working okay. We just need to keep an eye on Vesti. Okay, he's dropped off out of a second, but that's because we're not deploying any of the battery. But I still think we're in an okay position, even though he's not getting DRS. Another lock-up from a driver somewhere. Okay. Hopefully that's one of the people in front of us. And someone else was ran wide. So Magnussen locks up. That's not really going to affect us. He's behind both of our drivers. Yeah, we overtook him because he locked up. Vesti overtakes Magnussen. Yeah, that's to be expected. Okay, so interestingly, Hamilton is now coming into pit. He's doing medium. So the medium runners are now going to start to pit. And that is exactly what we want to see. So Hamilton is going mediums, and we know he's going to have to change to hard. So yeah, all of these people in front of us are going to start pitting pretty soon, and I think that is when we push really, really hard. I don't mind the fact that Ocon has just got past Sebastian Vettel. We just need to keep an eye on when those runners in front of us start to pit. So Sainz is in. He's not our battle. Right, Alonso is someone we can potentially catch. So deploy, push.
You can use energy.
Whoa, we'll keep the tyres as they are, but we're going to get both drivers to absolutely rinse it now because everyone's going to start pitting. So we should be in a very good position to get a few positions. That's terrible English. We should be in a good opportunity. We should have a good opportunity to get a number of positions here. At the moment, 9th and 6th, and all these people in front of us are going to start pitting. So yeah, so Sainz manages to pit and come out in front of us, which is, you know, to be expected when it's a Ferrari. But yeah, rain is still on course or when predicted, so I think we're going to be okay. The line looks good for tyre on Seb. Vesti may have a bit of a struggle towards the end, but yeah, overall we're in a good position here. Verstappen comes into pit. Vettel up into 6th at the moment. How far is Vettel off those guys in front? It's a 29-second pit stop, I think it said. 21 or 29 seconds, so interesting. And there we go. So we're putting in laps, our fast laps at just the right time because Vettel is up into 4th. And there is Max Verstappen coming out of the pit lane, and he's going to cause some issues. Oh, Max Verstappen. Bit dangerous there. Vesti's up into 6th position as well, and we've still got a lot of this battery to deploy, so we're going to keep pushing. Seb's got so much fuel that he can use as well. But yeah, we're in a good position here. I'm happy with how this is looking. Okay, so coming up to lap 25, as to be expected, the big boys are pulling away from Seb. But Vesti is now in 5th because Ocon's pitted. And yeah, he's 6 seconds behind Seb, but he's also got 6 seconds to Valtteri Bottas. Bottas will close that up, I'm sure. But at the moment, both drivers doing really, really well. Rain is predicted, yeah, still the sort of same, around lap 35. So it could be a case that we'll have to manage the tyres. And then the wets aren't going to be ideal for a while. It's going to take a bit of time for the wets to kick in, but I think it's going to be worth it. I think it's going to be worth it. We just need to make sure this happens. A safety car now would be a bit of a ball ache for us. Basically, what we want to do is pit for the wets and then have a safety car so that we're out on the wets. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Right, so what I've done, because we've got these gaps to the drivers all around, so we're 6 seconds off Sainz, Vesti's 6 seconds off Vettel, and Bottas is 3.5 seconds off Vesti. We're saving a bit of the tyres as well, because that means we can push a little bit harder, a little bit longer, and literally change into the wets when we have to. Like, we can make sure these tyres get there, and then there's no real mess up to the plan, because what in theory what I'd like to do is actually put Vesti in first, because the drivers are so close to each other, is put Vesti in first and put Vettel in second, so the track is a little bit more wet when Seb comes in and he's on a more suitable tyre. So that's what we're going to go with now. But strategy-wise, yeah, saving a bit of the tyres so that we make sure we get to that rain and just keeping it going. Okay, so race engineers are over the radio saying we're predicting that rain to come soon. They've caught Vesti up, which I always knew would happen. I'm not too fussed about that. We're into the pit window for Vesti, which probably means we can actually push a little bit more because we know he's going to make it. So we'll keep that on neutral as well, just to give him a little bit more defence. I think we're going to be good on tyre wear for both drivers. So, yeah, I mean, they're all going to have DRS, but that's just how it rolls, right? We've just got to make sure this weather comes. Okay, and here comes the rain. Lots and lots of rain. And we are getting into that pit window. Just watch out for slippery conditions. I'm wondering... It's basically... Yeah, we're going to... Do we call him in now? Because it's going to rain so quickly. Vettel's gone past the pit entrance, so... Oh, has he? Let's try it. Let's try it. Pit options, onto the wets, pit this lap. Let's see if he can swing in, because it's just there. Oh, he didn't. He just made it. Okay, so he's going to be on his optimal lap, so I'm not too worried about that from Seb there. So it's now Vesti's optimal pit time, but Vettel's like 20 seconds ahead of him. So, yeah, we'll put you onto the wets as well. Pit this lap. There's a big enough gap between them, they'll be fine. Hamilton is already in. So Hamilton is going intermediates. Oh, my word. Okay. So they're going to be in a good position for when the weather first arrives here. But that is going to be absolutely soaking wet, and it's going to be like that for quite some time. So we'll be back for Seb's pit. And here he comes then into the pit lane, Sebastian Vettel. I'm interested to know what signs is going to go on. What are these guys going to go on here? What are they going to come on?
Copy that.
Right, so Vettel needs a good stop because Vesti is right behind him. So Vettel onto the wets. Vesti is literally right behind him. I think everyone's going inters, which I'm not. I know we're going to be slower at the start, but it's going to be full wet condition. Oh, we're being held a lot because of all the other drivers that are coming out. Vesti's unlucky there. He's lost a lot of positions in that. But yes, so, right. We are on full wets. Perez is still staying out. Verstappen, full wets. Sainz intermediates. Verstappen, Hamilton intermediates. Gasly, full wets. It's a proper mix. I mean, Perez on the mediums is screwed, I think. I think he's had a shocker there. He stayed out far too long. But wets, inters, wets, inters, wets, wets, inters, wets, inters, inters, wets, inters. It's a huge mix here. This is going to be really, really interesting. But Vettel up into fourth. Perez now pitting. He did have a pretty big lead to make that work, to be fair. But we're in a decent position. We can push these tyres, to be honest, because they're not going to... I know it's maybe not the cleverest thing to push in the wet rain, but yes, we're definitely into wet weather territory, and we're going to be here for quite a while. We'll plan the strategy a bit in the future, I think. So, right, Seb in fourth, doing a cracking job, and is 29 seconds ahead of Lewis Hamilton. Lovely. So it didn't take long, and it's been reported that the track is now fully wet, and there's more rain to come. What are those people on Inters going to do? As Sainz is now in the pits, I think everyone on Inters is going to pit again, and that is going to really, really cost them. So, because Vettel may get... I don't think Vettel's going to have enough time to get Sainz. No, I think Sainz is going to be out. Sainz is going to lose his place to Perez, though. As, yeah, Vettel's going to come around here. Sainz is still just getting to the end of the pit lane. So Sainz will be out ahead of us. But is anyone in front of Vesti going to pit? Hamilton, Bottas, Ricciardo, Russell, all in front of Vesti. He could be in a very, very good position. Hamilton is into the pits as Vettel just nurses it round the corner in the rain. This is going to be very, very wet, as you imagine. Are these guys going to pit? Is Hamilton just going to jump in? Hamilton stays out. No, Russell stays out. Lots of other people pit, though. Okay, what is Russell thinking here? He can't brake in this weather. Vesti up to 8th. Vettel in 4th. Excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Right, just got to keep an eye on this rain and when it's going to ease off. So we're looking at lap here to get back onto the softs. I'm going to have to plan a strategy in a minute. Okay, so we're managing this really well. I just think it's about time I didn't want to do that. I pressed the wrong button. I just think we're pushing these wets. So let's go add new stint. Softs. Because I think the softs will get us there. And if we go into the track, it's around lap 60, right? It's around lap 60. So around here, maybe 59, and then we push those to the end. Update that. And again, Vesti's going to do similar, but we push all of that. We go on to the softs, and we say exactly on lap 60 for him. He pushes that, update, and there we go. I think that is what's going to see us through to the end. We may be able to come in a little bit earlier if the weather's looking better. But at the moment, up in 4th and 8th. Lovely stuff. And I think we should all be here for this momentous occasion where Vesti is about to basically lap someone. He's caught up on Tsunoda, which means he's already lapped Leclerc, to be fair. But he's gonna... I want to be here and watch this when one of our drivers, who is terrible, is potentially going to lap Yuki Tsunoda if he can get his pace back on track. I mean, Tsunoda's actually got quite a distance in front of him, so he probably won't lap him. I may have come back for no reason at all. But yeah, I mean, what a weird Grand Prix this is. We're pushing our tyres hard. I'm not sure everyone else is, but we definitely are. So Yuki should get blue flags in a minute. And there we go. He is lapping Yuki Tsunoda. Well done, Fredrik Vesti. Lovely stuff. Okay, the rain is definitely easing up, and we're only on lap 43 at the moment. There's apparently going to be loads of rain again in a minute. Yeah, it's interesting. What's it saying about the tracks? It's going to pick up a little bit. It's still 5.7. So I think we go on... Oh, when's it going to be like 1 millimetre? That's probably around here. So we probably can pit Seb a little bit earlier. We'll keep an eye on it. We'll keep an eye on it. Okay, rain has stopped on track. We're getting into territory where the intermediates are going to be the better tyres soon. It's just, I don't want to pit for intermediates and then pit to come back onto the softs. So, for now, we're staying out on wets. I'm going to imagine everyone is going to stay out on wets until this gets to nearly a millimetre. So, it's all about managing when this now gets very close to 1 millimetre and then you can put the slicks on. So, it's going to be, it's very, very tense this. It's going to be a good ending. Okay, right, we are into the 1.8 millimetre range, so we are not far off going onto soft tyres here. We're going to pit, because it's slightly earlier than I thought. We need to. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to watch this in 2 times speed, and that was on 1.8 basically when Vettel crossed the line, so we can work out how quickly the water's disappearing. Because he's not even halfway through the lap yet, and it's lost 0.1 millimetre of rain. So this is going to be really interesting. Vesti really struggles as well in driving on the wrong tyres. So 1.6, it could be. It could be not this lap for Seb. It could be this lap for Seb. It could be. Pause. 1.5. I think we bring him in now. I think we bring Seb in now. But what we need to do is check the strategy here, because those softs aren't going to make it to the end if you push, right? Ooh, it's going to be close. They can make it if you don't entirely push. Or you can go mediums and fully push. Oh, that's going to be tough, isn't it? Should we risk it for a biscuit? Get on the softs? I don't know if there's going to really be a huge difference in pace. We're going to put Seb on the mediums. And you know what's going to happen now. We're going to put Vesti on the softs, which is probably he's probably got less control over managing his tyres. But so I think they can both pit. I think there's going to be enough time between them to both pit. Do we put them both on the mediums or do we put him on the softs? Let's put him on the softs. I feel like I should put Seb on the softs and just manage it. It's so awkward. Mediums, softs, mediums, softs, softs. We're going both of them onto softs. Race view, pit, active, pit options. Oh, because they've got an extra lap. Because I'm actually pitting them now. I'm not pitting them when it thinks their optimal lap time is. Lifetime laps, 24 laps. We're on lap 56 of 71. That's under 20 laps. That should be fine. Or do we go mediums? No, I'm going to go mediums. I don't want to make... Why would I make that mistake? I'm going to go mediums here. We are going to go softs for Vesti, who is quite far behind Seb. So that should be fine, I think. Hopefully. Do we pit them both this lap? Yeah, let's pit them both this lap. So, Seb is coming in. Good. We got that just in time, which I'm very, very happy with. And so Vesti is... Yeah, he's got ages yet. We can actually run this. Run those tyres hard. 1.44. So it's going to be a bit slippery when Seb comes out. And I'm hoping it doesn't lose too much time. Right, good. A good change that. 2.5 seconds. That looks good. There's some soft tyres just waiting there in the wings for Vesti, who is into the pit lane now. And down to 1.3. Right, Seb, you don't really push just yet. Just make sure that you don't... In fact, let's do that with Seb, because by the time when that gets to 1, we're going to push absolutely everything. Vesti's going to do exactly the same, to be honest. We're going to keep him on 2.6 stop for Vesti as well. Happy with that. Lovely, lovely stuff. Getting the hang of this as we're getting towards the end of the season. Right, so Vettel comes out in 8th, which is very nice indeed after doing that stop. Right, standard, balanced, and harvest. And as soon as that hits basically a millimetre, I think we're going to push. So let's forward the time a little bit because they're both going to be on outlaps. Yeah, so Bottas is easily going to get Vettel there, which has just happened. But there you go, look at that tyre. Oh, he locked up. He locked up. Oh, Vesti locked up and he's going to have a time penalty. You dickhead. So Bottas overtakes Vettel, but we are now in range of slick tyres because we're under a millimetre. So let's really hope that this strategy has worked. Vesti's had a shocker. Has he lost his front wing? He's lost his fucking front wing. This boy, just when you think he's having an amazing race, he loses his front wing. And we're going to bring him into pit again, which now is going to just backfire all the strategy we've done. So let's just focus on Seb, because that is awful. I mean, there's several cars, so let's see what he's done. Vesti coming around here. He was under pressure. Locks up, hits the Ferrari, smashes his front wing off. I mean, at least... it's not a safety car. Both drivers are still going. Is... Vesti going to come in? He's going to serve the time penalty as well. Yeah, he's back in. Right, Vettel. Vettel is now in prime position. So, push, attack. Because I think lots of people are going to come and pit pretty soon. The track is dry. Lots of people out on wet. It's a 29-second pit stop. So we should get back into 4th. We should get back into 4th. Are people pitting? Are people pitting? No. Ocon stays out. Lots of people staying out. Hamilton comes into pit. Right. Seb, what have you got here, son? What have you got? Battery is empty. That's not a problem. We don't mind that. We can put it into neutral. We've pushed for that little bit of the lap. Pushing all of this. Vesti does his pit stop. What damage has he still got? Yeah, chassis minor damage. That's not a problem. Right. You need to get your arse moving, lad. You need to get your arse moving, Vesti, because you're down in 18th. Vettel, 7th. Verstappen pits. Come on, Seb. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. Let's just actually keep that in deploy because we need to close the gap. So we've got the energy. We can use it because it's going to be pretty close. I don't think we're going to get Gasly. I think Gasly may have done this pretty well if he comes in. Well, I don't know, actually. We might get Gasly here and we get back up into 4th. Is Gasly going to pit? Gasly pits. I mean, everyone surely has to pit now. Sector 2, yellow flag. Someone's locked up. Right, Alonso pits. Gasly's still in the pits. Vettel's a long way away from making this before they get out. It's going to be close. Sonoda locked up. ERS is empty for him. ERS is empty for Seb as well. Oh, it's going to be really close because they're going to come out of the pits and Vettel's flying down the start-finish straight. Alonso, it's a bit of a big turn. There's a Sector 2 yellow flag again as someone run wide. As Vettel comes out, he's got to come around these corners. He's not going to do it, but he will have the pace. He will have the pace. They're just there in front. So he should have the momentum and the pace, but unlucky for Seb. Stays in 7th. Okay. All right. So... it's not all bad for Seb. let's deploy the let's just absolutely sink the battery so that we can get back into range. So Sonoda is pitting. That doesn't really bother us. I think he's right down the order. Vesti should hopefully jump some people in the pits here, because everyone in front of him is now coming in. I know, but the thing with Vesti is he has to do 2 pit stops, right? So it doesn't really help. But did everyone come out on mediums or softs? They've all gone softs. I knew I should have gone softs. Knew I should have gone into softs. Oh well, we'll see. We'll see how that works. But yeah, a little bit irritating. So Vesti's jumped Latifi. Is he going to jump Schumacher potentially? He could potentially jump Schumacher here. Ocon now only just pit, so we're going to jump Ocon with Vettel. That's easy. So we're up into 6th. We're in a good position. We are catching Gasly as well, which is awesome. So once we're in DRS, we can play around with saving some things. But yeah, okay, not a terrible position to be in. I think the podium's long gone that we thought might come with the weather. Quick check of the weather. Yes, it's going to be a bone dry track for the rest of the race. Someone's crashed again, but no safety car, just the yellow flag. We're in low fuel range with Seb, but I think we can easily do that. We need to try and push. We're trying to harvest, but we need to push to try and get back to Alonso. It's nearly 2 seconds away, but we are charging the battery somewhat. So we should be in a decent position to go for a full push and get into DRS with some battery. It's basically at the end of this lap. So yeah, but still no safety car. A safety car would be massive for us now. A safety car would be quite useful to get everyone back in range, and potentially we get Alonso and Gasly off the start. But with not many laps to go, we're in a good position. 7th, and Vesti's down in 17th, but he's doing he's trying to get Schumacher. He's in very good range of him. He's managing everything pretty well. In fact, how close? Oh yeah, they're really close. Let's deploy you. Let's just get that battery absolutely yeeted and put that through. So I think with Seb, who isn't too far off, actually lapping Vesti now, because that second pit stop for Vesti's killed his strategy. He'd be so much higher up if he hadn't have absolutely battered that strategy. So we're just charging through these corners, 2.5 seconds. I think we're going to have to utilise all of our battery in a second. Hopefully Gasly and Alonso get held up because of this battle of back markers here, which would be absolutely epic. As Vesti's battery is empty, so we'll put him back to neutral for now, because DRS hasn't been reactivated yet. It's still not DRS weather apparently. But yeah, Gasly may get held up here because Vesti is slow and not a brilliant driver. He might take Gasly out. You never know. You never know. Right, Vettel's been charging up his battery a bit, so as soon as we go round the first corner here, we're going to deploy and see if we can gain some places, or close the gap. That's the word I'm trying to find, because it's gone to 3 seconds. So yeah, Seb's going to go full beans. And is Gasly going to catch them? He's not actually getting very close to them, Gasly, at the moment. Okay, Sainz has pitted out of nowhere, which means we're into 5th. We're into 5th with Seb, which is awesome. Here are all the back markers. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Back markers. Vesti, get out of the way. There we go. One of them gets out of the way. He gets out of the way as well, and we have caught. That's helped us out. We have massively caught up to Alonso here. Gasly's gone. There is a yellow flag again in Sector 2, but now we're in DRS. So if they activate DRS, we're in a great position here on Alonso, as we're going to harvest up here. Magnussen spins again. We're getting our fuel back in range, which is good. What is Vesti doing? Vesti's, yeah, not much. So we're just going to harvest him up, and we'll get him go full beans later on as well, as Alonso slowly pulls away, using probably deploying his battery while we're harvesting. So okay, we've got a chance at Alonso in the future. We know we do. And it looks like the FIA aren't going to reactivate DRS in this race at all. 2 laps to go, and it's still not active. The track's completely dry. Oh, it is active. DRS is active. I must have just missed it, because we've got it on Alonso, and Alonso doesn't have it on anyone in front of him, which is awesome. Right, you've been absolutely charging your battery up, so you go full send for the last couple of laps. And we are going to try and take Fernando Alonso and put a huge gap between us. So we're going to come around this section here, get into this nifty little technical section, and where we can deploy the battery for acceleration off the corners. And look how close we are now to Alonso to make this move, potentially get 4th place. In fact, no. What am I doing? Sit behind him. We know this tactic. We know this tactic. Sit behind him, get DRS, and then do it on the last lap. Oh, he kicked up a bit of dirt there, didn't he, Fernando Alonso, as he is trying to make this move happen. Just make sure we're within DRS, 0.89, 0.94. DRS is open. Okay. So DRS is open. 2 more laps to go. We can manage this on board with Seb. We can manage this on board. Vesti complaining about his tyres, but he'll be fine. He'll be totally fine. We can drop him down to aggressive if needs be. As Seb can go to aggressive just to make sure we keep that gap to Alonso. We're in a good position. Yeah, right on the back of him. Coming into a nice little technical sector, which is absolutely exactly what we need to happen. We're in a wonderful position here. Absolutely wonderful to get Alonso on the last lap. Hopefully. Right. Good work. Good work. Sector 2, something's happened. But we're not fussed about that at the moment. Alonso still there. Still just keeping a bit of a gap. But we've got enough about us to match Alonso here. And make this work. Do we? I think we do it as we come round this corner. And we just completely go for it. So round this left-hander. Now we'll deploy. We'll push. And we'll go attack. Because what we can do here, 0.936, hopefully our DRS and pushing the battery is now going to be like, boom, we're going to catch up to Alonso really quickly and then get him on the next DRS straight, which it actually isn't too far away on this track. So we should use all of our fuel, all of our tyres and our ERS to really, really catch him here. So someone's already won. So this is our last lap. This is our last lap because the checker flag has fallen. We need to make this move somewhere around here, Seb. Come on.
So this is last lap.
Come on, Seb. You're pushing everything here. Come on. Both drivers just ditch everything. Go on, Seb. Go on, Seb. This is the one. This is the corner. Make it stick. Make it stick. Get round him. Get on that inside. Yes, Seb. Up to 4th on the final lap. Come on. Where is Alonso in all of this? He's just there. Seb up to P4. He's doing a really good job here, Seb. Come on, now push away. Yes! Yes, Seb! Absolutely superb on the final lap. I don't care if they're overheating, Seb. You've only got a few more laps to go. You've got a few more corners to go, either. Not even a few more laps. Right, where is Alonso? He's in the distance. It's 4th place for Sebastian Vettel. And we absolutely love that in a rain-soaked Mexican Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel claims 4th. Another fantastic drive from Seb. As Vesti, with 20% tyres, is going to come over the line in 16th, which isn't too bad for him. And if he hadn't have messed up that pit, which is 29 seconds, he potentially would have been up here somewhere in near to 10th. But a good race. A good race for Aston Martin. Lovely. And there you have it. Verstappen and Perez in a Red Bull 1-2. Pierre Gasly gets 3rd, climbing 14 places. Sebastian Vettel, amazing into 4th. Getting the pit stops right with 2 pit stops was huge. Vesti down here dropped a place to 16th. With 3 pit stops. That should have been 2. Take 29 seconds off his time, right? So, where's total time? It normally says total time. Oh, plus 1 lap, so we can't see it. Anyway, Sebastian Vettel climbs up into 7th, overtaking Valtteri Bottas. And we lose out by 6 points to Alpine in front of us, but it's a very good position to be in. Well, a wonderful Mexican Grand Prix there, and yeah, exceeding expectations, which is absolutely wonderful. It's the final race of the season coming up, and are we going to try and negotiate with Seb? Too close to the season start on end. Oh no. Oh no. That could be a problem. Is everyone now saying that? Yes, they are. Okay. But do other drivers say that as well? Do we have to wait until the season actually ends to decide what we want to do? Let's quickly, who have we scouted here? Alonso, Gasly. Let's just have a quick look at Gasly. Yeah, too close. Okay. Oh, that's made this interesting. Right, we'll be back for the next episode at the Yas Marina circuit at the final race of the season. We've had a great season. A final race of the season where then we're going to see what happens with the contract negotiations, which will be interesting. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe and comment, all that good stuff. I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.